Greg. Hello, all. Sort of an unscheduled pop up, but let's see what happens. Just stare at tank for a while. I really should schedule these things. It'd work out a lot better, of course, but you know. Oscars are doing good. Big girl's healing up. It was a pretty deep one on her head there, but it's getting better. The other one was actually deeper. It drilled a hole right into the side of her head, and it's actually taken a while to finish closing, but there it is. There was a big, huge, deep gash there, and the last of it's finishing up. It's definitely sealed, and it's definitely raising up now, so it's almost over there. That was bad. That one was like almost deep enough to kill a fish, probably. I realized the cause of that was these lights up here. They're submersible, so I had them inside, but she was clipping them, and they're actually quite sharp. Actually quite sharp here and on these edges. So, although they work really nice, if you got larger fish that are going to jump and hit stuff, don't put these inside because they'll rip your fish up. So, I'm now keeping them outside the tank like that. I just reversed the suction cups and stuck them up top. And it seems to work out fairly well. Just dim the tank a bit, but the Oscars like it that way. They don't like the bright light, so it's working out for the best. They seem more comfortable, and I'm just really enjoying this tank. I've basically got all the filtration down here set up with the same equipment as I have in my discus tank, except for it's done up to accommodate all the tanks down here, and they all work together. So it's the most heavily filtered system in my house, with all the tanks linked into it and all working together with the two big barrels full of biomedia. It's pretty cool stuff. Really happy I did it. Yeah, a little drive-by there. But they left. Thanks for that +1. Don't forget to hit the old like button, even if you're just stopping by for a quick second. It'd be much appreciated. Yep. I'll just go from tank to tank until I'm just to look at the different fishies. Keep things interesting for when people want to watch afterwards. You guys are doing really good. You're growing pretty quick. I think they're like a 4 or 5 inch fish when they're done. And he's starting to look red in the tail. This one not so much. This one might be a girl. I might have a pair. We'll see what happens there, but they got a lot of growing to do. They're all hungry, of course. These angelfish almost have a little bit of blue in them. You see that in that guy's fin? See, he's got a little turquoise blue coming in. which I don't mind. He was just bold white when I brought him home, but now he's starting to turn a little blue, which I think is absolutely cool. That one got his top fin chopped off by the sump over here. When he was little, he got sucked in there, chopped his fin off, but it's grown back. Didn't even take very long. Yeah. Pretty little fish. And we got the Severums in here too. There's one of them. Another one down there. He's growing a little slower, but he's doing better. He's starting to eat more. He didn't adapt very well, but he's coming around since I dropped in the new UV. And this one's resting. We're getting into the evening. I'll put some food in and I'll get active. Definitely got to do some glass work on this tank. These two tanks over here are still going to be a bit algae prone just because of the lights I have on them. Let's get them some flake. Do a little feed here. There we go. Here comes our other guy. Everybody's doing their thing. Yeah, he had really pink gills last week before I put the UV in, and now it's looking good. So he was struggling with conditions, but it might have been the water was cold. I brought the temperature up down here, and that seems to have helped him too. Just trying to reduce his stress. Hopefully he comes around. But yeah, he was struggling, that little guy right there. But he's coming around. Seems to be looking better. My little apple snail. He fell out of the tank a while back and found his way out, and he cracked his shell. It didn't kill him, but he was hurting for a while. It's sort of scarred up and healing though. It's been like that for about 2 months. I've went and left the lid open by accident, like I almost just did here, and he just crawled himself right out of the tank. Hit the floor. I heard it happen, so I was able to save him. But that's how that happened. Here's the parrotfish tank. This tank's always fun. They're always so excited. Well, we got one here that's not growing as well as the rest, but he eats just as well, and they poop clean, so we'll give them a little flake too. Bear with me. There we go. Bunch of little hungry hippos. And we'll go see the discus tank. Why not, huh? Heading up the old stairs, down the old hallway, and into the... Turn off this light over just for the sake of the camera. And one of the most beautiful tanks in the house right there. Probably the most beautiful tank, fish-wise. Discus will always be my favorite. They're so graceful. Thank you for the +1. Much appreciated. Some happy fish. Some of them are so colorful, they're just messing with my auto dimmer when I put the camera on them. They're too bright. I really like how this one's turning out. It's an explosion. He's a beautiful fish right there. And he's growing so fast. Hello, Mr. Cooper. How's it going, buddy? Now we're just doing a little pop-up live stream in the vertical format. Still trying to chisel out that last, I think I'm down to like 35 hours, but what's happening is, 365 days ago, that's falling off my list, and then I'm adding new hours on right now. So if I don't add more hours than I gained a year ago, for example, you plateau, you stay stuck. So I'm just trying to get over that hump. I was really hoping to have it done by the beginning of December, but we'll get there. How was your day today, sir? You dealing with much snow down there? We got lots of snow up here for this time of year. I've been out there shoveling like a madman. It's still snowing again. Here, let me point my phone out the window and get a look at that. Look at my street. It's just disgusting. It's snowing right now. Well, that's good. The longer you can stay away from the snow, the better. We're in the thick of it now. A month from now, it'll be minus 35, and it'll stay like that for about 2 months. Oh, yeah. It's white, all right. Not sure how great it is anymore, but we're trying. As soon as we get rid of this corrupted government, things might get back to normal, hopefully. I don't know. No, not counting on it, though. That last sick fish I had in the other tank, it passed. Kind of figured it was too far gone, but I was hopeful. This one's fully recovered though, so I got one of the 5 to live. that were affected. And she's gained her weight back real good. She's going to be just fine. See, no more razor blade forehead. She's almost as thick as the rest of them. Another week, she probably will be. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it happens. I mean, but now I'm past all that, right? I've weeded out my defective fish basically. I've found the problem that was likely causing it, which was my UV just wasn't strong enough for my tank load, and and I can see everything's okay. The fish are all like perfectly colored, and the water couldn't be more clear. So very happy that it's a process of trial and error. It took me a long time to figure these fish out, but I've got it now. I know what to do, and I'm doing all the same stuff for the Oscars because why not? I treat my Oscars just like I treat my discus, and they're a week into this new UV as well, and the water is looking fantastic down there as well. So another week, their tanks are all going to look just like this one. I mean, I haven't cleaned my glass for algae in 3 weeks on this tank, and look at it. That's when you know you got it. That's when you know you're dialed in. Not a spot there. I've been trying to get here so long. Now I just need them to start making babies, but you can't rush that. They just have to grow. Most of my fish are still way too young, so it's just a waiting game now. But when I monetize, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to offer fish to people when I breed them. Those, the heavy channel supporters. When I start getting abundance of fish, discus, I'm also going to be breeding a blue parrotfish. I think I'm gonna try and make them available, as long as people are in range and it's not like minus 35 out. I think I'm going to send fish to the channel supporters. You know, nothing says thank you like a couple beautiful baby discus. You just got to keep them alive and hope they get there alive. That's the scary part. But I think what I'll do is I'll start learning with shipping the parrotfish because they're tougher. So we make our mistakes with those because they're not discus. And then when I start seeing I can actually ship successfully, I'll probably start doing it with the discus. Oh yeah, I don't doubt your tanks are perfect. And make sure you make some feeding videos. It's always fun to watch. Speaking of feeding, let's give these guys a little bit of chow. I'll give them just some little pellets. Oh, I got some new food on the way too. I decided, just now that I've got equipment dialed down, I've been cheaping out on my food. I'm not cheaping out on it. I find quality food for cheap, but there are better foods in the world. So there's a company up here in Canada called Northfin. I can't seem to get any American companies to want to send me food because I don't know why. They just, as soon as they find out I'm a Canadian, I'm disqualified from all that stuff. I suppose if I had millions of subscribers, they wouldn't care, but getting fish food to people up here seems to be a problem. I think they're very restrictive or something, or the food has to pass all kinds of tests, And it's so these people who make their own foods, they really just can't even ship them to Canada. Has to be some kind of big company. I've been in touch with the Northfin people. They've been in touch with me, and yeah, once this postal strike ends, I'll be showing you all some Northfin fish foods. And we'll see how the discus like them. Oh yeah, you like Northfin? So yeah, good. At least I got the right guys behind me then, and they were happy to support a fellow Canadian. So that was nice to see too. I started to think I wasn't going to have any options in that regard, but nope. Turns out one of the good guys is up here. So hats off to Northfin when the time comes. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, anything that can help me keep my costs down a little is certainly welcome. I was thinking of contacting Higer because I kind of like their products too. Like these lights in this tank are from Higer, and I think they're excellent. They're part of why my algae problem's gone. They just have the right spectrum. It's not hard to feed the Oscars because I can just go buy them human food. You buy them, cheap cuts of frozen fish. And I chop them up, and I buy just regular old shrimp. I don't know who that is, but we're going to decline it. They're trying to call me. Oh, okay. I thought Fluvel was Italian, but I'll check them out too if they're up here. It might be the border crossing thing that shies them away. Maybe there's some kind of duty costs or so everything is more expensive when it gets here. Like so there's got to be taxation on the border, and they probably don't want to deal with it. You guys get an FX6 for $300. We got to spend $800-900 on the damn thing. Same machine, and that's not the exchange rate. The exchange rate is not that horrible. No, it's import taxes. Same thing with cell phones. You'll get a cell phone for $500. We'll pay $1,700-1,800 for the same damn phone. I think I'd save money if I moved to Alaska, and that's probably the most expensive state to live in. Thank you again for the likes to all our people watching in the background silently. I much appreciate those. They definitely help the effort. Let's go back to the Oscar tank. Change it up a little bit, huh? Pardon the blackness there. I just don't want to show you my whole house. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just it's about the fish. It's not about me. And I covered camera and a couple people took off. Sorry about that. Or maybe they don't want to look at Oscars. How can you not want to look at these beauties? My little silver dollars. They don't grow very fast, those silver dollars. But they are in no way worried about these Oscars. I've got it good in here. That's got to be a male because he's always so dark, and he shows that big black dot and the black on the tail. I think that's what males do. And then the other ones are spotted too, but they must be females. Now the big ones, I think what I've got is one variety. There's two kinds of silver dollars. I've got one variety here, but this one is a hybrid. It's half spotted and half one of those. So he gets the black rim on the tail, but they pick on him. The other ones pick on him. And when I got him in here, they had basically chewed his tail nearly right off. And then when I put these little guys in, he was the first one, this guy, where he's grown most of his tail back now. It's him. You can see the damage still there. He's been here a few weeks, and he had almost no tail when he arrived. And we're growing it back nice. But yeah, it was interesting when I put these little guys in. He's half of what they are. I guess these other silver dollars constantly rejected him, and he swam right up to these guys and accepted them right away. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to pack up with you," and then now he's not getting picked on as much anymore either because he's not the only one. So I think that's helped him a bit. Looks like the discus attract more people than the Oscars do. That's interesting. I mean, that's understandable too. But it's always nice to switch it up, I thought. There's a little Sly. That's his favorite spot in there. He likes getting down low. In that little corner, he sleeps there at night. He sees that as his little bastion. He's growing really good. That video I made about are you a fish keeper or cult member, that seems to be doing well. It's getting a lot of views. Some people, I don't know, are worried about making a video like that. Maybe I'm not going to make many friends that way, but at the same time, it's nice to see that there's fish keepers out there that seem to agree. Because I think it needs to be addressed, you know? And if I see something that I think is abusive towards animals, I'm going to point it out so people can think about it. I'll do my best to discourage that kind of thing. And I will continue. I'm not saying anyone has to fish keep the way I fish keep. I'm just saying however you choose to do it, please make sure they're getting the best, you know? The best you can give them. As long as you're doing that, you're doing okay. If you can do your best, you're doing okay. Not everyone can afford to go crazy, but let me tell you, if I can pull it off, anyone can pull it off. Let's go back. Furnace just turned on. Let's go back to the discus. Here we are heading back over to the discus tank. It's definitely attracting more people in when we're on this tank. Yeah, that's what it is. It's factional. FishTube is factional. You're part of Group A or you're part of Group B. JT, I think we know we got things dialed in. Look at your success with breeding. I mean, it's phenomenal. You're producing so many of those babies. It's great, and that's a sign of happiness. So Big Red doing his make sure he's the boss thing. He has consistently been the tank boss the whole time. I think it might be a girl. I'm still not 100% on that fish. I seen it guarding unfertilized eggs once. They were white, white, white. It was over there on the filter. I just didn't see who laid them. I honestly think that little orange one in the back, her now big orange one in the back, I think that fish laid the eggs, but just hasn't done so since. And then Big Red sort of took him over, wouldn't let it near him. At this point, though, I got all my fish dialed in. I'm supposed to send 2 of them off to a friend of mine's house, but he can't seem to stabilize his tank, and that scares the shit out of me. I'm down to like basically 2 good stinkers, and I'm afraid if I send one over there, it's not going to adapt to his very different water. And I feel I might have to disappoint him and tell him to wait until I make babies instead of... I'm sure he could do it faster than me, though. But what if the fish die in his tank? I mean, I'm at that point. I only got 2 good ones left, and the third one, I don't know, you know. I don't know what's going to happen with that, so I think I'm going to have to change my plans there. Hope I don't disappoint them, but at the same time, I'm still going to get them fish, so I just, now that I'm disease-free and 100%, I don't want to screw it up. I really don't have enough stanker fish left to save that line, in my opinion. Which is really a shame. I was hoping to produce some pure and maybe breed real genes into them, but now they're just going to be mixed with other Germans that I don't even know where these ones came from. They're Germans. She's a German. I don't know which kind. Like, they're not getting the little tails, you know what I mean? But then this blue one up here ended up getting the tail. So where is the blue guy? You can see the tail on him up top there. Oh, here's the blue guy. He's got one too. Not as pronounced though, but it's there. See? Oh, come on, focus. He's not giving us a good angle. Focus. There, you see it's very skinny, but he's got it. You get the little tail going on. It's probably going to get bigger because he's a little bit younger. Yeah, he calls them sterile, and he says it's funny how he puts it. He says they're just flushing their tanks like toilets every week or two, like it's. So basically, what he's saying is he doesn't flush his toilet, right? That's what I got from that message. I don't know. He's calling our tanks toilets, but because we flush them like a toilet, and then so basically he's not flushing his toilet, and that's why his water's yellow. It's just, it's amazing what people will grab onto. It doesn't even look nice. I watched him talk about that tank that sits behind him. He's like, I haven't completely changed the water out in that tank in 10 years. Of course, he just moved, so he probably just has. But and then someone in the comments pointed out that he just put baby discus in one of his tanks. Go check that out. So I looked at it, and there was a video, and he is showing very small, like 4-week old, 6-week old discus, and they were already owl-eyed and stunted. They were already like, it would have only taken a week or two to do that to them at that size, and they were already owl-eyed and stunted. He posted that video 2 months ago, and I haven't seen a follow-up yet. And I'm pretty sure he's killed them all, because they would have died within 3 weeks. That's my estimate in his water. And I don't think we'll see those discus again. He might come back and say, oh, look at my discus, and they'll be completely different, but because he bought new ones, I've watched people do that before. But yeah, he did the same thing. If you look through his video history and you search discus, you'll see that he did the same thing about 4 years ago. And he's like, look, I can keep discus in my water. You see 1 or 2 videos, and then it all stops. Just no more talk about, you don't even see his discus anymore. It's because he kills them. I'm sure of it. Another video I saw back when I started this, he was showing one of his followers who, set up a tank like his, and there was 1 discus in the tank, and it was sickly looking. And he's like, "See, people keep discus in this in water like this, and they do just fine." But the fish he was showing was disheveled and sick. And again, there was 1. Who buys 1 discus? Nobody, right? So that guy came home probably with the recommended amount of at least 5 or 6, and he has 1 left. And then Father Fish is going, look, victory! I shouldn't even mention a man's name, but I mean, we're just, I don't think I haven't said anything horrible. I'm just talking about disagreeing with the technique. I don't think that's a problem. If I get flagged for it, so be it. I don't know what to say. I don't think I can be, but you never know in oversensitive world we live in. I don't care if people tear me up, go for it, you know what I mean? You think I'm doing something wrong? I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I do. I want to hear it. Am I going to argue with you? I don't think so. If you're rude to me, I might be rude back, but that's about it. I love opinions. I love to be told I'm wrong, because you know what? Sometimes I am. And that's okay. I'm a human being. I'm not supposed to be right all the time. And if someone sees I'm doing something wrong, please point it out. Tell me exactly why, and I'll thank you for it, because you know what? I might learn something. One guy put up a really long text response today to a video. I thought it was great. He wasn't agreeing with me wholeheartedly, but I thought it was great, and he said a lot of cool things, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact he even took the time to disagree with me, and he did so in a sophisticated way, and I thanked him for it. I rarely ever mute anybody on my channel. I mean, I've muted a couple guys because they were just straight up, like, it wasn't constructive criticism. It seemed like it was almost jealousy, and they had nothing tangible to say. So I'm like, I don't need you. And I think I've done that twice so far on my channel. Some guy told me my gravel was filthy, probably because he saw the black sand. It's not filthy, it's just black sand mixed with a light colored gravel. I did that on purpose because I want to see the sand versus the gravel. When I'm gravel vacuuming, the sand gets pulled up on top of the gravel, and I can see where I vacuumed. It helps me. helps me not miss a spot. So, well, yeah, you know, at a glance, some people think they see something, I guess. These guys are awesome cool. He's going to go up and clean a fish. They're looking to pygmy cuckoo catfish. They seem to be come out dawn and dusk. That's their time to come out and play. And then they'll survey the discus and make sure they're clean, like little janitor fish. They'll chew off any dead skin. They see something that looks like a parasite, they'll chew that too. I don't know if they would deal with ick very well, but I think they would try to kill them. That's the interesting thing about this fish. They look after your cichlids because they want your cichlids to raise their babies. So they have a vested interest in ensuring the health of cichlids around them. And they do exactly that. Just 3 of those fish cost $100. They're very slow going. They don't breed very easily. And just to get them to grow a few inches long, it takes almost a year. And these ones are about full size because they're the pygmy version. And I've got one of one sex and 2 of the other. I'm not sure who's the boy and the girl, but you can see the color difference. Both color variations are there, male, female. I would assume the darker brown one, I don't know with these fish really. The darker brown one could be the female for all I know. Beautiful fish though. Very hardy too. If you can find these, and the pygmy version, the non-pygmy versions are common. You'll find them all over the place. You really gotta be careful because a lot of people will try and tell you the other ones are pygmies, and then you end up with like a 7-inch fish. But the pygmies, they only get this big. And I like them. 7 inches is too big for me. I agree. Yeah, he doesn't have. He's trying to do it. I think he just tried again and failed, to be honest. But I don't know if you see a more. I'm going to be watching him now. I want to see what goes on with these discus. But I remember it was 2 minutes and 14 seconds in, I believe, or was it 2:43 on the last discus video he posted with those babies, and I commented on the video too. I haven't gone back. I think he's got me muted anyway, but. I told him, I said, those fish are already dead. I can see it. I can see the health problems already. How long you had them? A week or 2? And yeah, nothing, no response. I think, and of course, again, the video is 2 months old, so I'm pretty sure he's already killed them. How embarrassing. He's like, oh, look, you can do this. And the other guy thinks he's a discus hero's got them swimming with arowanas. I won't mention his name either, but literally all his fish haven't grown a millimeter since he bought them big, and they haven't grown a millimeter since he put them in his 450-gallon tank. He does water change every 3 weeks on that tank, and he thinks he's doing just fine. And he's like, look, you can keep discus like this. And I said, no, you can't. I mean, sure, they're alive, but they're already like past the 15-month. If you don't grow them right in the first 15 months, they're screwed for life. So his discus are the size they are, and they're not going to change. And the average size of his discus is 4-inch. Anything that is larger than 4-inch is because he bought it that big. So, and what's a 4-inch discus? Like this guy back here. Now he's a baby, and I've only had him for a month, and he's almost doubled his size already. So he was barely 3-inch when I brought him in. He was significantly smaller than this white one. That white one was really small when I brought him in too. He might have been 2.5 inch. And that's another one of my new ones. And same with him. Look how big that one is. He hasn't been here very long. And growing like a bad weed. They're all catching. My new ones are catching up to the adults so fast. Like, I didn't have this kind of growth rate in my first year, but I'm having it now. So, yeah, no, he doesn't have an established tank. I've seen him show me cichlids too in the past, or show us cichlids in the past. And he claimed to feed them once every. They looked like they were fed once every 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And people eat it up. It just boggles my mind. But I shouldn't be surprised in today's day and age. Hello, Mr. Craig. Good to see you, sir. We're just talking, blabbing fish, and right. Or recently, we were just talking about video I posted the other day about those no water change tanks. I just don't agree with them. I don't know what to say. I just don't think it's good for fish. So I decided I'm going to be speaking out about it every now and then because why not? No one else is. Yeah, there you go. You too. You see, and that's the thing, and we're all afraid to actually say something about it. And then there's new fish keepers out there that are just eating this stuff up, thinking it's the right thing to do. And it's just not. It's just not at all. Yes, exactly. That's what I was even saying. It's an excuse to be lazy. Thank you, thank you. Is justifying laziness, and all you're doing is hurting your fish in the process. I mean, it's cult-like animal abuse. Yeah, good. Keep saying it too, bud, because we we gotta we gotta straighten it out as far as I'm concerned. Like, as fish tubers, I know we're not big fish tubers, but um, I don't know. It's just for the good. It's for the good of the animals, and it's for the good of the new people that are joining the hobby. They're getting conned into animal abuse, and they think they're doing the right thing because they're being misled, and it disgusts me. But I'm happy to hear that, Craig. It's really something we should all, spend a little time on. Help educate the new people, get them on the right path. You, you go on the wrong path, and then you end up hating the hobby, and that doesn't help any of us. People turn away. Yeah, exactly. It's like swimming in a friggin' septic tank, right? Who wants to do that? Or it's like never cleaning your dog kennel and telling everybody, "Oh, it's okay. The dog likes to roll in the pee and the poo," right? We all know that dogs like that, but at the same time, it's disgusting and it's not right. So, yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'll speak out about it every now and then, and I comment in the guy's videos. But he's got me all muted up, so that's cool too. But if he wants to send his little army after me, bring it. Like, good. I'd love to have one-on-one discussions with each and every one of them because I don't know. Don't feed. Yeah. I was just right before you jumped in. I was just talking about how he's like, don't feed him for 2 or 3 weeks, and then he shows you the tank, and the fish looks disheveled and bony and unhealthy. Like he's obviously just after clicks, but then like it's just people are eating it up, and it's like wow, yeah, what the hell, eh? skinny little fish with no immune systems that are getting sick all the time, dying on you. That's what he's doing. It's like he's like the Jim Jones of fish keeping, and he's offering up some Kool-Aid. Oh, spider lady's on. Yeah, there definitely is. There's definitely an idiot born every minute. It's a big world, so it's a very true saying. Us old school guys, we gotta stick together. We gotta teach them how to do it right. I think the youngins are looking up to him because he's an old man and he should have all kinds of experience. But what he's doing is teaching them how to set up a fish bowl in a fish tank, and you know, telling you can keep discus in it. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, he is. It's definitely amusement. It's definitely amusement. But I can't support it. I'm not going to blindly sit back and say, no, no, that's okay. For a little while, I was telling people, you know, if that's what you want to do, the whole do it your way mantra. But yeah, I mean, do it your way, so long as it's not abusing an animal. But when you're crossing into that animal abuse scenario there, I don't know. I just feel like I have a responsibility to speak up and hopefully make a few of them think about what they're doing. Oh yeah, the shop, no doubt, is putrid. Um, it had to be, and I know it just by looking at the water. And I was curious, right? Because I thought that's the way it would be. So I actually went out. There's videos on my channel if you look. I went out with a bucket to my. I got a lake down the street. I scooped up all the mud, just like he said. Took some leaves. I even took local plants out of the water, which I think might be illegal in my country. But I just took grasses and nothing serious. And then I planted it all. Not even 2 weeks, my water was yellow like his exactly, and it stunk my whole house up. And it was only a 20-gallon tank. Literally stunk my whole house up. I had to dismantle it, bleach the tank, reset it, everything. There you go. I didn't even know he was a failed business owner. I just figured he was a guy with a pretend fish shop. Oh yeah, it was gross, but I did it because I wanted to be sure that what my eyes were telling me is what my nose was going to tell me. And if I'm going to speak out against something, I might as well make sure that I've done it. So I did it. I also did another experiment to prove the point where I put those simple kind of fish just in a little 15-gallon tank, and I just let it sit there and rot for about 3 months with those fish in it. Didn't do a water change. Just gave them. I was feeding them lightly. I was basically treating the tank like a father fish tank. I didn't have 16 inches of substrate or anything that he says to do with the tank. It was just fish in a normal tank with normal equipment, and I just let it go without doing water changes. And they were simple tetras. And guess what? They lived and they did just fine. It wasn't because I put leaves in my water. It wasn't because I put Mother Nature and mud and everything else. It was because they were bulletproof fish and they're tolerant to just about anything. And that's the fish this man's been putting in his tank. He just puts bulletproof fish in the tank and says, "Oh, I haven't done a water change in 10 years." Yeah, well, you can do that with guppies, but come on. Who do you think you're fooling? He's only fooling new people. He tried to convert me. Oh, wow, eh? Yeah, yeah, the smell. I mean, if your nose is telling you something like that, pay attention. You know what the other thing that people could easily do following this method of going out to lakes and scooping up mud? You can bring Gardia home. Like literally, it's a deadly bacteria that exists in lakes. You drink lake water, you could die, right? Well, you could easily bring that into your house and then wonder why you're, pooping through the eye of a needle every day because it gives you just grotesque diarrhea. And Yeah, you won't even know why you're sick. It's because your tanks are freaking putrid. You could literally make yourself sick. You can also end up with respiratory problems from breathing that air. It's just he's literally not doing anyone any favors. Someone, the fish are definitely suffering, but people could get hurt too. Yeah, yeah. Who knows what's in the mud? Oil, petrol. True, very true. Yeah, poo. Yeah, could just be straight up, human waste in there even. I can't believe he was actually trying to convert you, but it definitely doesn't surprise me, right? He certainly got a few of the fish keepers on board, like the guy who calls himself the Greenwater Jesus. Don't want to say his name. I like him actually, I really do. Um, he's a really cool guy. No issues with him, and he keeps swamp fish. He doesn't try to keep, um, cichlids in that environment. So, but he did go outside, out back, and build a garage to stick all his tanks in, probably because his wife wouldn't let them be in the house. I'm sure that's what it was. And he keeps green water tanks. Yeah, water changes frequently. Me too. Me too. This tank here gets it every 4 days, and it's water change every 4 days, and once a week a deep cleaning. All the filters, all the gravel, everything gets deep cleaning, and it works really well for the discus. Now, when they were babies, I was changing the water every day or two because that's they're more vulnerable when they're babies. But as they get big like this, you get to stretch it out to. I'm at 4 days now, and I think I could probably do 5 or 6, but I'd rather keep it clean because that's what keeps them growing fast. So there's no point being lazy. You tried a peacock in his method, or yeah, I don't know. I can't do his method. I just can't do it. He thinks it's the Wallstead method too. It's not the what he preaches he's doing the Wallstead thing. He's not doing a Wallstead thing. I'm doing the Wallstead thing here with my big old sump and everything. This is the Wallstead method. He's not doing the Wallstead method. He's butchered the Wallstead method. He's absolutely butchered it. And it's all the new fish keepers that are getting taken for a ride by him. It's just so sad. Yeah, it won't work. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, yeah. He cherry picked it. That's what he did. He cherry picked aspects of it that seem like they match his narrative. But he's not using it at all. I'm sorry. He's using it to justify himself, but he's not actually using it. Like people who run sumps the old school way, they're following the Wallstead method. Yeah, yeah. You see, I went and read up on it, and I was like, okay, no, this guy, he's literally just full of it, and it works though. It makes if you're after clicks, then that's what to do, I guess. Just I should start making parodies of his videos. I think I'm gonna too. You know what? I think I could have a lot of fun doing that. Just fucking exaggerate the shit out of it. Set up a tank that's just like a toilet. Buy some fake turds, have them floating around, like human-looking turds, just floating around in there. And I'll put some yellow food coloring in, because I don't really want to simulate the smell. I think I'm gonna do it. I got some extra tanks and get myself a white wig and come up with a fancy name. Have some fun with it. Why not, huh? I gotta be careful though. I don't want to get myself banned, but as long as all the names are different and yeah, and I'm not specific, should be okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that just for shits and giggles. I think it could be funny. I don't know. Might not make me any friends, but I'm not here for competition. I'm just here to share my fish keeping experiences, you know. Making friends. I like making friends, like you guys. No, don't get me wrong, but if I'm not gonna trip over my ideals just to please people, well, I think something's wrong. I'll say it. That's the thing about me. I'm a pretty fair, decent, decent guy. I'm not out to pick on people, but I'm not afraid to speak up either. I never will be. Oh yeah, tell me about it. Basically, eh? It's like going to school for the occult, and that's basically. I think that's his motivation. He's always wanted a following, and he's found it this way. Yeah, no, it's just it. And you know, if someone was posting like stuff like that about any other major subject, like if you did the same thing with dogs on YouTube or cats, let's say cats, right? You're like, no, don't pet your cat. Only feed your cat once every 3 weeks. Your cat, no, your cat doesn't need a bath or, don't brush your cat's hair. It's all natural. If you started putting out videos like that about cats, like you'd probably get freaking arrested for the animal abuse, encouraging animal abuse. But somehow fish don't matter. I don't get that. I think fish matter all the same. I love my cat. I love my fish. Yeah, you'd be in jail. Yeah, if you applied what he's doing to another animal, and maybe it's just people haven't complained right. I don't know. I don't want to get the guy banned or nothing, but he's really got to. I don't know. I have no pity for it if it happened either. I wouldn't really pity the guy because a lot of people would stop learning how to abuse fish, and that would make me happy. But I'm not a rat, so I'm not going to do that. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you applied his logic to cats, people would hunt you down. You get hunted. There's groups of people on the internet looking for cat abusers. They're serious too. They're a serious group. Can you imagine if we had the same thing with fish? That'd be great. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I've been here for what, an hour and 5 minutes. I think I'm going to jump off and go in and say hi to Kim. And someone's at my door, so good timing. We'll catch you in a little bit. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.